You want me to start?
Sorry, I was just getting the record button and then sorry. I can.
Good to go?
All right, welcome everybody to the call. Jackie Zajchowka, Presidential Diamond Leader. We're doing our weekly call. I got Jackie Marchant co-hosting with me today, and I want to welcome everybody to the Zoom, and I'm so excited. It's June. There's so much to be excited about, so many big announcements and so much stuff going on that I'm excited to discuss. We're going to be talking about June, like your plan essentially for June, and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And so we're all here to focus on that. So Jackie, is there anything that you wanted to add to that, or?
Should we recap kind of what the promotions are on right now, like what corporate's giving for us, just to make sure everyone knows what's up?
Yes. Can you do that? I'm just going to make an adjustment here. If you want to start sharing that, would that be okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
Okay, so the first one that I'm really, really excited about is the incentive for new distributors. So anyone who's joined the team in the month of June, and for the rest of June, anyone who signs up as a distributor this month will get their, same as usual, but their first 30 days to get their first 4 loyal customers. And we all know that unlocks the bonuses, the Go bonuses, which they've brought back. So we'll get to that in a moment. But what I'm actually more excited about is the $100 US. So it's more if you're in Canada, I think it's $133. Australia's $138. Free product credit, free shopping spree. I love that, you guys. I remember they had that when I first joined the team, and probably when lots of you first joined. And it made me push hard to get those 4 first customers. And we all know that most people join this for the extra income. Some people join for an extra couple of $100s a month, and some join to millionaires. But even someone like me, who I wanted to replace my full-time income, I wanted that $10,000 bonus. Like, I had big goals, but I didn't sneeze at the free product credit. Like, that did push me. And I think it pushes all of us a little bit, because it's that goal that's easier, it's more attainable. It's like right then and there you can get it. So for all of our new team members that we're all bringing in, we want to really excite them about getting that free product as soon as possible. Like, if they can get their first 4 loyal customers in their first couple of days, then they're going to be able to have that product for their launch party. That's huge. The more product, I keep stressing this to my team, and I know Jackie does too, the more products you have that you're using, the better your business is going to be. This business is all about sharing what we love, and you can't do that if you're not using the products. So to get that product for free is just a huge boost to the business. They can buy wraps and get more wrap cash. They can have more stuff to use personally. But it's just really that once they get that and they're like, okay, I accomplished that, then it makes it like keep rolling, rather than going, okay, I'm working towards this $10,000 bonus, but it's probably, a month or 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 away. It's that instant excitement. Does that make sense?
I love that, Jackie, because I know that for me, that was the first thing I earned, and it made me realize that I could earn things. Like, it was like it was just like this aha moment for me. And then having product, so you get a product credit, you buy more wraps, you're selling them, you're getting wrap cash. So you can actually turn that into much, much more, right? Like, you'd always buy like 2 boxes of wraps with it. And then, like, depending on what country you're in, you're turning that into like instant wrap cash. And then it's basically your first experience with actually having that, walking away with cash in your hand. And that feels so gratifying. Like, there's such a great connection between having that, like, feeling the money in your hand and getting those results on people, and then seeing their excitement. And so whether you're using those products on yourself to build your belief system, or you're using them to get your wrap cash and make that money, either way, you're winning, right? And so you're learning how to win in the beginning of your business. So that's awesome.
Definitely. So that's a huge thing. And I hope that we're all really focusing on that when we get a new distributor on board. The other thing is that they brought back the Go bonuses. So that's amazing. I know, I don't know about you guys, but I know I was really pushing at the end of May, you know, everybody, you got to sign up now, you got to sign up now, these bonuses are being taken away. And as far as we knew, they were. So I'm still glad that the people who jumped on board on the last day of the month did, because I mean, every day that you wait is another day that you're not changing your life, you're not moving forward. So, but now they're back. And that's really exciting. So we can help people get those bonuses. And what's really cool about them now is if you happen to have a month where your rank drops, so your lifetime rank is always going to be your highest rank achieved. But if you have a month, say your paid as rank might drop from diamond to emerald, when you bounce back to diamond in the next month or a couple months later, you can just get paid that monthly portion of the bonus again. So every month that you qualify within the 25-month period, you get that. Does that make sense? All good? Sweet. So it's pretty exciting. What else? Did I miss anything, Jax, that we have exciting happening from corporate for
Well, we got
June?
green carpets coming up, so that is like that's right around the corner. And there's also well, you just got to get to green carpet. Like if you have never been to an event, like it changes your life when you get out to them. So if you can get out to a green carpet, you're gonna get a chance to like feel the company, you know, realize the people on stage are just like you. There's just so many reasons. You get to go shopping, right? They have all the apparel there, so you can actually go and try things on and stuff like that. I always love, like I pulled out the summer gear, right? So we're all ready for summer. So going and getting your It Works tank tops and your baseball caps and things like that are so fun to, like, we have the best gear out of all the companies. Like we have, big people always ask me, where'd you get your shirt from? I'm like, oh, this is like my business. Like this is what I do. And it's
my work shirt.
yeah, like, and I have had so many people, even from other companies, say, oh man, I wish we had gear like you guys. I'm like, yeah. Guess you're just gonna have to join our company.
Yep, keep looking like that, or join us and look like this.
That's right. We just have the nicest gear. I mean, like, and for men and women, like Joe always has an It Works shirt on. Like he's always promoting the company that way. It's just so easy and you look good, and they have like the material's really nice and everything's so sharp. So, and you get to write it off like in your taxes. So when you get to go shopping and take your receipt and then put it towards your taxes. So I think that's just brilliant.
Yes. Oh, I remembered something else. Okay, so the other incentive that's on right now is enroll 3 distributors by the 22nd of June, which happens to be my birthday, I think it's the 21st in Canada and US, the 22nd in Australia. So the first 3 weeks of June, basically. And you get a gift, like a surprise gift, plus you get special recognition at Green Carpet. So I love surprise. Like I like to know, well, I don't love surprise. I like to find out what surprises are. So I'm like hustling to get my 3 distributors as soon as possible, or have someone on my team get them so I can find out what we get. So how many of you guys have got a distributor so far? Or 2 or 3? I've got 1 so far this month.
I got 1.
All right, well, we need to hustle because, who's going to get to their 3 first? Get that present. I want to know what it is. There's a new product being released in Carpet, so maybe it's the new product. It might be.
I'm excited though. Like, I really am curious, Jackie. Do you have any guesses what new product?
No, I'm terrible at guessing. Like Liz was trying to like guess with me because Pam was saying like it's something that a parent would like.
A parent? Oh, so it's good for parents? Okay.
Yeah. Not like necessarily only for parents, but she just said that every parent would like. And so we're like, what is it? I have no idea.
Well, I do want to say that I do believe it will probably be released in the US first. Mark, we were on a call with him and it's just the way he worded it. So it sounds like whatever it is going to be launched in the United States first, which is great. And everything always launches there first. And I'm really hopeful that our cleanse is going to be in Canada real soon too. I think that that's coming as well. So
Ooh, is that what he said?
I've heard a couple of things that it's getting closer and closer. So I'm thinking that it's going to happen.
I'm
Ah,
hoping we get sunscreen,
Sunscreen would be nice.
especially this time of year.
all right. So I think that we covered all the promotions and stuff that's on the table.
Just trying to see if, okay, here we go. Sorry, Jax. Yeah, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows that, like, if you want to make sure you're staying up to date on what's going on, you have your Wired app, and that has all the current news. So it's so cool that, like, when you're out and about, and if something's happening, like, you get a notification. Like, it literally tells you that there's new promotions or there's something. Like, we also now have, like, French Canadian support. Like, how awesome is that, right? I know we've been waiting for that for a long time. So, like, that's really, really exciting. I think that just, it's so nice when we're heard, right? Like, when you ask for something and then you get it because we need it to grow our business, and then we have it. And it's just, it's nice when the company's listening to what our needs are. So I just want to mention that, because if you guys didn't know that, that's great. If you're French and you want to call in and you need that extra support and stuff like that, like, it just brings, and, like, the thing about it too is, if you're in Canada, because I know a lot of people on the call are, like, Montreal is booming. Like, the French teams growing like crazy. Like, there's so much growth right now happening in like the French community in Quebec and Montreal and everything like that. So if you guys have prospects out there, now is a really great time to be putting those seeds out and letting people know that we are growing. And that's, like, one of the areas we're growing, like, probably the fastest, I would say, right now in all of Canada, just from my personal speculation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, and party pads are now available in your eSuite in all the different languages, so that's awesome. And for you guys who are, if you're wanting to know more details on, like, the bonuses or any of the promotions that are happening, like, you want to read the fine print, you can do that in your eSuite in the document library. And I think it's definitely a good idea to do that, so you make sure that you're up to speed on everything. Some people don't read all the fine print, and they miss things like the fact that your 4 loyal customers need to have all different addresses from each other and at least 25 PV on their orders. Like, just small things like that. What dates you need to have everything in by. Make sure that you read that, and don't rely on, like, what I say or what Jackie says or what someone else says. You want to know that you got it read for yourself.
Well, you know what, Jackie, and I want to add to that, like, you know, when you're an It Works distributor, you're a business owner, so you have to treat your business like a business. And, like, we love helping you guys on the calls and stuff like that, but Jackie's totally right. Like, if we said the wrong thing by accident, we don't want you to be like, well, you told me this. And it's like, it's your responsibility to go in and read the rules and regulations. They're easy, they're easy to read and everything like that. And but it's a good idea to be able to know where to find that stuff. And so when your team asks you, you don't need to really even tell them the answer. You just need to tell them where to get the answer from, because we should all be able to go into our eSuites and find that information quite easy. So I think that that's a really good point. I know that, like, for me, if I'm running for a promotion, I want to know the rules. I want to understand them for myself. I want to know cutoff dates, the exact minute that promotion ends, and stuff like that. So all that information is always laid out so well in your eSuite under the rules and regulations of whatever promotion it is that you're running for. So that's a really great point, Jackie.
Cool. All right. Do you want to give any recognition for what happened in May?
Well, I love to let people share a little bit about what they did. I think that's really, really great. I mean, I know that the team did really well in May. Everybody's growing. People are definitely, like, the interest that people are getting from the products, because we're coming into summer, like, here, I think is incredible. Like, I've had so many messages. People are like, I need the defining gel. Like, I need to get wrapped, and stuff like that. So that excitement's definitely there. And I love that summer, now that the sun's finally out, it's definitely helping promote our business. Definitely help with the beach body. But I love to take this time to let people share about their wins and what they've accomplished, because it's so nice to be able to share that and then have everybody else, like, congratulate and appreciate the stuff like that. So who wants to share their wins for the week?
I have one.
Sure, go for it, Karen.
I don't know if Tracy is on the call. but Tracy joined as a distributor last Wednesday, and she already has her first customer in the system and a second one on its way.
Awesome. That's amazing. I hope she's on the call.
I think I've seen her number on there, but I don't know. I think she's called and not videoed.
Oh, gotcha.
So awesome job, Tracy.
Way to go, Tracy. Does anybody else have anything that they want to share that they're excited about, whether they've either done last week or they have coming up maybe the next week, parties booked, anything like that? Anybody promote last month that they're really excited? I know Erin promoted to executive, but I don't see her on the call. Jackie, you got some shout outs you want to do, I see?
Yeah, so I'll just say personally, like I think I mentioned to you guys last call that I've been working a lot more in person because I find it easier with having the baby to go out and be hanging out with other moms and just, we just hang out. And then, of course, things come up like what we're doing. And it's just natural for me to be talking about the products and the business. And I had a girl who was on my chicken list who's a fellow mom, and we've been hanging out for a while, like since towards the end of our pregnancies, so probably about 4 or 5 months. And I just always thought she'd be so good at this. And she's a salon owner, hair salon, and she's just like a motivated, goal-setting kind of person. And I've mentioned a lot about the business, and she never really showed much interest. Like, she never asked me too much about it. So I was kind of like, oh, she's not interested. But I finally just asked her if she wanted to join my team. And she said yes, like not right away. She just asked me a few questions, and we went back and forth, and we had some chats, and I told her like what this could do to help her. And yeah, she joined on the last day of May. So that was exciting. Now I have an awesome new business partner.
Wow. I love that. Can I ask you how, like, so you said you asked her if she wanted to join your team. Like you just basically said, how did that go?
What, can you hear my baby? He's making some rude noises.
Oh, that's
sorry. Yes. So she had used the wraps before. She was actually, and I didn't even know this because this is how this business works. She was a loyal customer under someone on my team, right? Like, because it's just in our local area, the word spread, but the distributor that signed her is no longer in the business. It hasn't been for a while. So she's like, yeah, I tried those wraps. And she goes, well, I'll try them again. Like, I still have a couple at home now that I've had the baby. Like, I'll use one. And so she used it, and she said it faded her stretch marks like instantly. And I was like, I know, it's amazing. And then she's like, well, I still have a few more, but I'll have to get more from you when I run out. And so we had the promotion on where you get the free defining gel. And I'd already told her about the defining gel, of course, because it just comes up when you're talking about the wraps. So when the promotion came up, I said, hey, like, look, you can get this free defining gel, and I could sign you up for a new loyal customer account under me. That way you can get, the discount and the promotion, and I can like be there to help you with your results and support you along the way. And then she's like, okay, let me, think about it. I'm just going to check if I want to just do that or just buy some like for cash from you. And I said, okay. And I said, or just putting this out there, it's only $165 Australian dollars to join my team. So it's basically the same price as, buying your wraps and defining gel, but you're going to get your wraps, your defining gel, and right now you get 4 essential oils for free, plus you get a business. And I said, I think you would be so good at this. I would love to work with you. I think we would have so much fun together. What do you think? Or do you want to like maybe have a chat about it when we meet up tomorrow? And she goes, yeah, let's chat. So there you go.
So I hope you guys are all taking notes, because do you see why Jackie is such a great recruiter? Is because she articulates it so well, and she's giving a lot of information, but it's clean information. It's it's well understood. She's only telling them what they need to hear. She's not bombarding them with anything like that, and she's telling them like it's perfect. And so if you get a chance, like, I hope you're writing that down, or you're going to come back and listen to this later and see how it's done, because there's a reason why she's top recruiter or top enroller all the time.
Oh, thanks. So yeah, then we went out for dinner and watched the football with our hubbies and babies, and just chatted about everything and anything, and just the rapport building is key, right? We have a good friendship, and her hubby knows my hubby, and like they can see us and who we are, and it's not just like some person on the internet like who might just be scamming them. Like that's what a lot of people think. But when you know people well, you get to see them, you're like, these are just normal people who I really like and would love to work with. You know, I want what they have. They seem like they're enjoying life. Yeah, and so then I just said, like, what do you think? And of course she had some hesitations. She just wanted to know, like, how much it would cost her monthly, if there was, like, any sort of contract or minimum quotas and stuff like that. So I just explained to her that, you know, there's the website fee, which is cheap as. There's the product that you want to buy each month. You can either be commission qualified by ordering a couple of products a month or having a few customers order products every month. And I said, either way, if you're working your business, it's not hard to meet those requirements. So yeah, she basically just said, well, what do I have to lose, you know? And I said, nothing. You've got a lot to gain. And so she's really excited. So that was a win. Any other questions about that?
I just want to point out, I love that you're only answering the questions that she asked you. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't go into training her before you recruited her. You basically told her, she said yes, and then, or maybe she didn't yet, and then, but she asked a few questions and then she said yes. And it was either before or after. And,
Yeah.
but you were only answering her questions. You weren't training her in your recruitment.
Yes. No, I know that's a good way to kind of scare people off. Too much information. I also have someone on my team. Pardon?
So I just want to see if anyone had any questions about that. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Jax.
I have someone on my team who had a huge win right at the end of May who I'd love to share.
Sure.
Nancy, do you mind if I share your story, or would you mind sharing it for us? Can you hear us? I think you just unmuted yourself.
She's unmuted. I wonder if she's having some technical difficulty.
She might be. She didn't know I was going to call her out like that either.
Well, let's give Nancy a second, because I know Stephanie had her hand raised before you started sharing. And so I hope she still is keen to share. And then maybe we can go back to Nancy. If you can hear us, Nancy, does that work? I hope so.
She's typing now. She said she's having trouble. Yeah, I'll tell her we will go back to her.
Okay. So Stephanie Ellis, did you want to share? Can you hear me?
Oh, no, it's okay. I just had a question, but it's no big deal.
Okay. You can always type your question in the chat. Do you see there's a chat there? You can go ahead and
Yeah.
type your question there if you'd like.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thanks. Sorry, Jax. Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Did you want me to share Nancy's story?
Maybe if she's having technical difficulties, sure.
Okay, Nancy, if you press unmute, say something, see if we can hear you. Okay, I'll share for her. Nancy, when did you join the team? It was, I think, January or February. And I've been probably chasing her for like a year and a half. She said she was joining a bunch of times and then just disappeared a bunch of times, but I just kept following up and just, you know, being friendly. January 26th, she joined. Okay. And then finally she joined, and she did awesome. Like in her first month, she signed 12 loyal customers. And here's how she did it. We have a little like chat that I do for all of my new distributors who are within their first 30 days. And I give them like tips and posts and things every day. And she did everything that we suggested. That, you know, there's a lot of people who don't do it, or they just do the stuff that's in their comfort zone, you know. But Nancy literally did every single thing to the T, and she got so involved. She was answering other newbies' questions like by halfway through the month. Like, she was awesome. And so she got her 12 loyal customers in her first month, and kept, like, you know, enrolling every month since, and just working away at it. She didn't get any distributors on her team until the 31st of May that we just had. She got 3 in one day.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my God, what happened? Like, it just went boom. And the thing is, she'd been planting seeds and following up consistently that whole time. And finally, it just went boom. And that's what happens a lot, you guys. You can be just thinking nothing's happening, like you're not going anywhere, like you feel like you're plugging along, you're not seeing the results, and then like in 1 week you can sign like 10 people. It just happens. So I just love that Nancy's been so consistent and hasn't given up, and just seeing that pay off. Do you have any other tips you want to share, Nancy? You can type them in the chat. Like, what would you say were the main things that got you to where you're so successful? Or if anyone has any questions for Nancy about what she's just accomplished, please feel free to type, and I'm sure she'll be happy to type back. She's awesome like that. And she's in BC too, Jax.
Oh, nice. Where in BC?
Think Vancouver.
Nice.
Think. What's being suggested in the push? So Stephanie just asked me if the what I'm suggesting is different than the push group. Well, I guess it's just like, it's pretty much the same really, but it's just for new distributors, having it in their inbox seems to be maybe more simple and more manageable, and just that back and forth, so they can ask questions like straight back to me, and then I can give them that response straight back. And, you know, they can say, well, I got this response from somebody, what do I say now? You know, just having that easy access. Yeah, and they're just pretty basic. Like, I start with basics, like just here's some wording to reach out to your friends and family. You know, here's how you invite people to the online parties. Here's like your basic posts about the wraps or what products you're using, and just stuff like that. So Nancy said following up was the key, and she would choose Friday or Sunday to follow up. And yes, she's in Vancouver.
Nice. Beautiful. I love that. Congratulations, Nancy. We love your success story. I hope you can share on our, like, the next Zoom, because soon you're going to have a massive team and you're going to be running your own Zoom. So you might as well get comfortable with it.
That's right.
Well, that's really cool. There's a One Team, One Mission in Victoria in July. If you're interested in that, Nancy, I think Jackie probably has posted about it, or well, Pam's going to be there. So like,
oh, you got to go see Pam.
See Pam. So yeah, so that's really exciting. So we have to make sure we get everybody who's in BC that information as well. So yeah, I love that. So basically following up all along, and then the last day of the month, like 3 bang, bang, bang in like that. So I know that that's happened quite a few times. I know Jessica Schultz talks a little bit about that too. Yeah, Victoria. And but yeah, Denise talks about that too a lot, how you're doing your follow-ups, and all of a sudden everything kind of comes in at once. So sometimes people, like you said, Jackie, can get a little bit frustrated, but then once they keep working, all of a sudden it all kind of shows up at once. So that's quite common, especially the last day of the month where people are feeling that sense of urgency. They want to get in on those good bonuses. And that's exactly why the company does that. You know, we never know what they're going to do. And it's actually good for us, because if we did, we wouldn't have that sense of urgency. So it's there to help us. So that's really great. So congratulations, Nancy. Perfect. So, do we have anybody else that wants to share? We're going to start talking a little bit about planning out our June. Does anybody else have anything that they want to share before we get started with that? You guys don't be shy. Okay, well.
What about Janelle? I like picking on people.
Janelle, would you love to share? We'd love to hear from you.
I know Janelle is on the call. I can see her name. And I know she was at Emerald not last month, but the month before, and was going to share but couldn't make it on a call. So she could share about that. And then I also just wanted to shout her out because she had a tough month. Her dog passed away, which is like her best friend for years and years. And, you know, she took the time she needed, and it was really tough. But she's managed to bounce back from it, and I just think good for her because I know how hard it is. Like, I've seen so many people go through personal struggles, and it knocks them off the course to getting what they want and where they want. So I just wanted to shout her out for coming back from having a hard time, taking the time she needed, and coming back and telling her team, I'm sorry I was a little bit MIA. I had personal stuff going on. I'm here. I still want to run and work with you. And I just think that that's amazing.
Love that. Love it. I know that can be hard, and like losing your best friend like that, it's never easy. I know mine's sitting right here, right next to me, and I can't even imagine. But yeah, I know you're right, Jackie. You do get to take time out for yourself in this business. That is one of the most incredible things about what we have, is that you can take a couple minutes, you can take a couple days, you know what I mean? You can take what you need to do and deal with the things that are coming up, and then, you know, get back to work when you're ready to. And that's so nice that we have these calls that we can get reconnected with, and we can get fired up and fill up our cups and, like, you know, focus our attention where we need it to go. Beautiful. Okay, so I wanted to, again, congratulations to promoting too. Emerald is really exciting. That's like real close to diamond. So you're just keep going. You're gonna be there soon.
Definitely.
So speaking of promoting, so Jackie, I know you, we talked a little bit, and we said we wanted to talk a little bit about planning what our June looks like. So
yes, game plan.
Yeah, game plan chat. So did you want to start that off, or you want me to talk a little bit about that first, or what do you want to do?
Well, I just want to say everyone's is going to be different, right? Because we all have different goals, and we all have different ways that we like to build our business. But the main thing is that you have a goal for the month, because, I mean, why are you on this call if you don't have a goal, right? There's no reason to be here if you're just not doing anything. Like, you don't have anything you want out of it. We all have stuff that we want out of it. I know you do. So have a goal, know what it is, write it down, and have a plan. Like, if you don't have a plan in mind, you're not going to get to your goal. It's just that simple. Like, you need to know, who am I talking to? Like, where am I going to be generating these leads? And what am I doing to present the opportunity to them? And how am I going to go ahead and seal the deal, basically? So whether you decide what's your method of lead generation. Are you having parties? Are you going out, like, making friends face to face at moms groups and things like what I'm doing? Or are you, like, adding new friends on social media every day? Are you doing, like, events like expos or markets? Like, what's your lead generation? And then the main thing is getting them exposed to the party pad from there. So how are you getting them exposed to the party pad? Are you going to have coffee one-on-one? Are you going to have a phone call with them and go over the party pad? Are you going to invite them to a wrap party? Are you going to invite them to an online wrap party? Like, they've got to have that presentation. And then from there, it's just following up and sealing the deal. And that's how we have our game plan. So yeah, that's what I had to say. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I love that. And you're 100% right. I mean, we just had a call with Mark the other day too, and he said it, and I've said it before, but like, if you don't know where you're going, you don't go anywhere, right? Like, so you need to have that plan set out in front of you so that you know, so that when you get up in the morning and whether you're feeling good or you're not, you have your why and you have your plan. So you get to work regardless of sometimes how you're feeling. We don't always feel like working, but when you know what you want to create and what you want to accomplish, you're going to go ahead and do it anyways. And that's the beautiful thing about having that set up for you. And also having your chart set up, like looking at your charts on a daily basis and looking at your hundreds list and like planning to do your follow-ups on Fridays and Sundays and things like that. Like having that game plan is going to be the difference between staying where it is that you are or going to the next level. And if you want to get to the next level, it's like it takes that discipline. And like you said, Jackie, deciding how you want to do that. Is it trade shows? Is it blitzing? Is it parties? Is it like however you want to do it, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, just find out what you enjoy, what you're good at. And even if you're not good at it, how can you get good at it? Because none of us we all started as distributors. We all started day one not knowing what we were doing. Like that's the beautiful thing about this business. We all start in the exact same place. And but it's how much time are we spending learning and tweaking and things like that. I know that the things that I did in the beginning of my business was I was doing my own parties. I literally was inviting people to my house and launching myself. And I had my upline come once and do a party. But then after that, I started asking my friends, some of my close girlfriends, if they would be willing to have a couple friends over. And if I could go over my presentation with their friends, people that I didn't know. And that was the biggest thing that I did that grew my business. I had like so many loyal customers and new distributors from doing that intentionally. And like, I remember in my office, I had my charts. I had a check that had like a crazy number on it that I didn't believe I was going to get to, but I wrote it down anyways. And I didn't understand how to chart. I had to have my upline kind of come in and push that a little bit on me and basically say like, this is how it works. And like, so don't feel like you're supposed to know these things, like, asking questions and knowing that somebody's going to be there to help answer them is the most important thing. Like if you're not asking the questions, you're only sabotaging your own business. So ask the questions. Don't be afraid that you're not supposed to know. That's the most important thing. Like we're all starting at the same place. And sometimes it's a question maybe you've asked 4 times. Maybe it's a part of a compensation plan you don't understand. I know that there's parts of the compensation plan that are actually really simple, but they were so simple that I was like, that's too easy. It doesn't make sense to me. And I had to have my upline go over it with me actually several times before I understood it. And that's okay. That doesn't make me a stupid person. It actually makes me quite smart because I had to ask over and over again. Do I feel silly asking the same question over and over? Yeah, I probably did feel silly. I of course, but at the same time, look at the reward that comes with it. It's growing your business. And so there's no silly questions. It's only silly when we don't ask them. So I want to say that because I think it's important, because I think that too many times we feel like we don't want to ask, or or that we're nervous, or we feel like it's a silly question. How many times have you said to someone, I know it's a silly question, but it's not a silly question, just ask. And also, it's also a great thing to do is just say, hey, let's talk about this on the call. I know that one of the, there's one thing that I do want to talk about on the call today, but I will get to that. I know Karen asked if we can talk a little bit about pre-selling wraps and what that looks like. But just going to get into that in a couple of minutes. But I just want to say, like, if you know where you want to go, write it down. The number one thing, like the number one piece of advice that I can give you is to not trust your brain and write it down. Write down your hundreds list, write down your goals. I have my passion planner with me right now. It's right here. I fill this out I forget things. And if I'm not using this, nothing happens. Like absolutely nothing happens. I have all the great intentions and it just slips my mind. And so once it gets in my book and I write it down, it has to get done. There's no other option. So, I just wanted to share that because I know that if I wasn't writing it down and didn't have a plan and I wasn't connecting regularly with my upline and asking questions, I wouldn't be where I am. So Does anyone have any questions or anything that they want to add to that, or anything that they want to ask me or Jackie about any of that? Is everybody shy today?
Janelle just messaged me and said she's at work listening in. That's why she couldn't share.
Okay.
Yeah. But she was like, I would love to share, but I can't just right now. So you triggered my brain when you talked about one of the things you said about asking your girlfriends to have parties for you. And I just thought of another win that I had. I'm having a party on Tuesday morning at my place that I created a Facebook group for the moms group that like I met up with locally, so we can all keep in touch on Facebook. And one of them was sick and asking like, what can I do for being sick? And actually another one mentioned essential oils. And she said, oh, my friend does, like, so this is a third girl in the group said, oh, my friend who's not in the group does essential oils. I can see if she can do a presentation. And I was like, oh, hang on. I was like, I have essential oils. I'll do a presentation. You know, I just jumped right in there and I took advantage of that opportunity. And I had like 5 of them say, yeah, I'll come. And the girl was like, oh, Jackie, like I didn't realize you did doTERRA. That's the brand. And I'm like, oh, it's not, but it's just as good. It's like a just as essential oil, pure essential oil that I can share with you. And none of these girls are really into oils, so they just need to know the basics. And so I'm just going to have them over. I'm going to open with the oils and say this is what you guys wanted to know about. These are what our oils do. These are the ways you can use them. This is what I like using them for. And then while I'm here, I might as well share with you a few of the other products that I really love and you might also like. So there you go.
I think if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't give people the opportunity, because how many times, okay, you guys, like show of hands, how many times have you been talking about one of our products and someone said, you guys sell that? I thought you just were wraps. Mm-hmm. Right? So yeah, like, so we have so many other things that are incredible. Like, I don't know, like this is like, I don't go anywhere without my defining gel. And some people just don't know what it is and they don't know that we have it, like the essential oils and the skincare and shakes and everything like that. Yeah, Nancy's got her hand up and I love that Nancy has a launch party. I think she said on the 8th. Is that right? Yeah, so that's July 8th. Okay, I thought it was June 8th. That's amazing. So yeah, no, ask your friends, like, why not? It's if you think about wrap parties and the difference between wrap parties and other parties, our wrap parties are so fast and easy. And even if you only have 2 people over, you don't need to have 10 or 12. Like I came from home party and it was always like, you always wanted to have 10 people there, right? Like that was always your goal. But the thing about having wrap parties, they're faster, they're simpler, and you don't need to have 10 people there. In fact, if you have 10 people there, you need to have like probably at least 2 distributors to make sure you're wrapping everybody. So one-on-ones, like there's never a reason to like reschedule if only one person's coming. Then you're just like, awesome, one person's coming, and you never know what kind of connection you can make with that one person. And so you just keep going. And the beautiful thing about smaller wrap parties is that you get a chance to be more intimate. You get to ask more questions. People are more comfortable asking you questions. You're actually more likely to recruit at a smaller party because of that intimate connection that you can make with people, and then they feel more comfortable with you than you are if you have like 15 people there and it can get a little bit chaotic, and you know what I mean, like you're kind of wrapping things up because you know everybody is socializing and stuff like that. So make the best out of every situation, you know, learning how to adapt to your surroundings and working towards your goals are always going to be the way you want your mind to be working, and that's how you're moving forward. So yes. So Tara has her hand up. I'd love to hear from Tara. Tara, do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and share?
Yes. Don't mind me. I might take a pause because I'm literally putting poo in the garden. So I want to share when the answers, I guess we're talking about, like the answer's always no. So I'm a firm believer of that. Some of you might already seen this because I put this on the training page today. Sorry, I'm like out of breath, literally, 50-pound bags I'm carrying. So I I decided today, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get a pedicure, right? First time it's actually gonna be nice out here in New York. It's been raining for weeks living on Noah's Ark. And I sit down, and this lady sits down next to me, and she looked familiar. I haven't been to this nail salon in a really long time. I usually go to another nail place, but I decided to go back here. I sit down, and her and I, we sit down at the same exact time, and we just start getting chatting, like literally about everything in life, like everything. She knows everything personally about me. I know everything personally about her. And she was like, what do you do? And I didn't even like hit on it work chat. I just talked about like how I own a spa and all that stuff. Because right before that, she tells me that she works for the FDA. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, right. She's not going to like it works, right? So, and of course, like, you know, I was like, you know what? I should probably still bring it up. So then later on in the conversation, I had already given her my regular business card for the spa. And she's like, oh my gosh, your skin's amazing. I want to come in for a facial. What do you use? That's how I got into the it work stuff. So I told her how I switched all my line over. And then she's like, oh, what is that? I go, ironically, it's on the opposite side of you. I'm a wellness. She literally pauses. She looks right at me. She goes, God knew I was supposed to be here today. I go, why? She goes, I've been wanting to get out of the FDA and look into something more on the wellness side. I couldn't even believe it.
Wow.
And it was like so weird. And I can't wait to see where this goes. She's super excited. She's booking a facial. It's just so weird. And we got talking about it, and I go, well, I'm glad that we actually got to start talking. She goes, she couldn't even believe it. She goes, do you know 15 minutes before I walked in this nail salon, she was going to go walking at a local park here. And she goes, something told me, let me go get a pedicure instead. And she literally did the same exact thing I did. I didn't know which nail place I was going to go to, and that's the one I chose. And it was so weird.
Wow. The universe is like answering you.
Yeah. And that goes to show you, like, I mean, this lady, FDA, if everyone doesn't know what that is, you should look it up because they're always against us. And then she started to laugh. She started to laugh, and I go, yeah, they don't regulate supplements. She goes, I already know. She goes, the reason why I want to get out of it, she was like, you should see what they're trying to pass through now.
Yeah, the FDA is kind of like not what it probably was designed to be in the beginning. It's definitely, and I'm just going to say it, they're corrupt now. We all know that they are. They pass things like aspartame and things like that should never, they're just not healthy for people. And so I think that, in my opinion, if you can't trust somebody with one thing, you can't trust them with anything. And so I really think the FDA doesn't have any credibility anymore after some of the drugs and things like that they've passed. And I mean, yeah, we don't even want to get into that. I could go on. Anybody that knows knows that I can.
And that's exactly what she said. And for me, like, I was kind of, in a way, we all get nervous, but it's like when you hear that, you're like, oh, I don't know about that, right? You know what I mean? But then my skincare business brought it up where she's like, oh, well, what do you use? And then I told her, and it just went right into there. And I ended up giving her a Blitz card at the end. She asked for an additional one for her friend. And it was awesome.
That's amazing. I love that you shared that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You never know who you're going to bless. You just don't know. You can't prejudge people. Like we're told that all the time. And that is such a perfect example of, first of all, following your heart and your instincts. And second of all, not prejudging people and just kind of offering it, because I know I've said it before, and it's been said that, like, we have a blessing to offer people. This business is completely blessed so many people, and there's so many more people that it's going to bless. You just don't know who you're going to bless with it. So it's not like what people decide to do with what you offer them is completely up to them. But the fact that you're offering it is up to you. And that's what's going to change your life. And what they do with it is what's going to be what changes theirs. So, you know what I mean? Like it takes, sometimes it takes crossing your comfort zone. Cause that was probably like Tara, you said that, you're like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like, she works at the FDA. I'm like, should I even? But you did it. And look how beautifully that turned out. And you blew her mind, you know what I mean, as well. So that's such a great story. I can't wait to hear more about it on our next call. I can't wait to have her on our call. I can't wait till she's part of the team. That's super cool. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that. Does anyone else have anything that they want to share? I know Nahani said she doesn't have very good signal right now. I'm sure she'd be sharing too. She's such a great organized leader that I love hearing from her. And I know Karen as well. You're always so organized and everything like that for your month and stuff like that. Karen, is there anything that you want to share what you're doing, any tips or anything like that?
Basically, I just do my own power hours, and I do those every second day. I've never attended a power hour before until we started the push groups. And the first one I attended was in January, and I was blown away at the the outcome that you get when you do those. If you go in with attention, then you get the results you're looking for. So I do those every second day, and I basically just go through my 100s list and I flag people that have mentioned that they're interested in product. And then I use that to follow up with people. And my 100s list is like this thick. It's not just 100 people.
That's awesome. Cool. Tara's got her hand raised. So Tara, you want to go? Thank you so much for sharing, Karen. I love that. I love, you're always so organized. I love looking at your binder and everything like that. So thank you for sharing. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Tara.
I would have mentioned this before, so I feel guilty. I'm raising my hand again, but I get so excited. So what I actually just started last month is, I try to do I do have a group message on Facebook, but what I started actually, it was the last weekend of the month going in for May into June. I started doing a monthly meeting that I'm going to do every single month at tentatively the last Saturday right before month's end. So everyone gets pumped up for month's end. And this is all in person, like at a local coffee shop or et cetera. And whoever chooses to go. It's up to them, right? I can't force people to go. And then that way it starts off the month strong. And I can be honestly say, most of my team is on right now. And a lot of them might not talk because they get nervous. But I know 3 of them in particular came to me and said that they loved the meeting. And I was like, how about doing it again? They were like, absolutely. They've been so pumped up. And their business was kind of stagnant for a little while because personal issues that we all go through. And it goes to show you that just getting together with people, but also to bring it to another level, I have people that are out of state. So I've already thought of a unique way that I'm going to involve them on that day too.
Say that last thing again. Sorry, I missed it.
So I've already thought about, for the people that are out of state, I'm going to also have a unique way, do a live or do video or something like that to have them involved doing the meeting together as well. So that way they're involved too.
Perfect. That's awesome. I know that without the community part of it, I don't think I could do this business. I think that was the biggest thing for me, was getting together with people. Now we get to do it online, but we used to get together in person and stuff like that. But I needed that sense of community more than I think I ever even realized. I think it's vital for me, and it still is to this day. So I can totally relate to that. I love that. And I think that almost everybody can. So yeah, get together with people, get on the Zooms, don't be shy. We all love everybody here. There's so much love on our team. Everybody here is so supportive, and all we want to do is cheer each other on. And so yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's really great. And I love that sometimes we leaders aren't born. We're taught, right? And we push ourselves that way, and we become leaders based on the action that we take. So good on you for stepping up for your team. I know that for me, when I was first getting started, I was terrified. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, I have this leadership title, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get better for my team. My team deserves better. I need to get better. And I know that that's what drove me to do more personal development and start doing training and getting on stage and doing the things that scared the bejeebers out of me. But I did them, and now I just do them. And it's just, yeah, it didn't start off this way, right? It's a journey. So I also, Karen asked if we could talk a little bit about pre-selling wraps. I know that Jackie, you have, I think you talk really well about that. Do you want to share a little bit about pre-selling wraps with us?
Yeah, sure. So one thing that I've noticed is that I only call it pre-selling when I'm talking to people who are already distributors. When you're talking to your future distributor, I don't say oh, we're going to pre-sell your kit. I don't know. The word seems a bit daunting, I guess. Well, I just ask them, hey, okay, so if they're saying they can't afford to start, and I'm usually I just ask them, when's your next payday? When will you have the money? Because I would rather sometimes just have them spend their own money to start, because I feel when you do that, you're committed. Not to say that when you pre-sell, you're not, but if they can do it without pre-selling, I would rather. 100%. But if they're I just don't know if I'll ever be able to afford it, then I might, first I qualify it and I just say, is that the only thing holding you back? If you could afford it, if it didn't cost you any money, would you definitely be ready to do this business and work it? Because sometimes money is just an excuse. So I want to make sure that 100% they're ready to work. They're not just BSing me. Okay, so then if they're like, yeah, definitely, like, I'm like, okay, well, here's something that's worked for some of my team members who were in the same situation as you. And I always use like the feel, felt, found. You know, I know how you feel. Others, like, they felt the same way on my team. They were in the same situation. What we found is we were able to raise the money for them to start. If we can do this, will you work with me? You know, if I will you, or if we will you, like, you know, don't just say, yeah, what do you think? It's like you're kind of getting an agreement from them. It's like a verbal agreement, I guess. So then from there, I say, okay, well, can you think of anyone you know who might like to try a wrap? You know, anyone you know who might want to either tone, tighten, and firm some area, or who just would love to be one of your first customers to support you. You know, so most people can. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to help you with some wording to approach your friends and family, and we'll go from there. So I start with them like wording it behind the scenes, like not posting, but just like reaching out to a few close people first. And then I also warn them, and I say, look, like, I have girls on my team who have pre-sold their wraps in like, or not pre-sold, okay, who have sold their first 4 wraps in like 2 hours. And I have others who took 7 weeks. But, you know, I don't know which one you're going to be. So I just want you to know that, like, it might take time, and don't worry if it does. Like, just be patient and we'll get you there. If you really want to change your life, like, let's make this happen. And if you find it hard or challenging or difficult, or it takes a while to pre-sell those, pre-sell again. See, when I write or talk to someone, I don't like say it, but when I'm talking to you guys, I say it. So anyway, if it takes you a while to sell those 4, don't think that that means that, like, you're not going to be successful at the business, because it's so much harder when you haven't officially joined yet, for people to take you seriously. Once they've seen you in the business officially using the products that you've really committed to it, it will grow quickly. So we have a girl, Nicole, on our team in New Zealand who took her 7 weeks to sell those 4 wraps in the kit, and she just kept going and kept going. And from there, it only took her a few more weeks to get her partner not having to work overtime anymore, because she kept going and she kept getting like wrap cash from loyal customers. And so I just want to pre-warn people, because I think sometimes they'll think, yeah, I'll do this. And then they try and they talk to a few people and they don't sell those 4 wraps right away. And they think, well, what's the point? Like, if I join this company, it's going to be too hard. I'm not going to be good at it. So I just like to really have a good chat about what to expect and pre-qualify with them that, you know, you're not necessarily going to see results overnight. But that doesn't mean that you won't be a massive success. So I give them some wording just to reach out to their friends and family. And I just say something like, hey, you know, have you ever heard of these wraps before? A friend of mine is using them and loving them, and I'm really excited about using them myself. It depends. If they're already a customer, if they've already used a wrap, then they can talk about their own experience with the wrap. If they haven't, then they can say, you know, I'm really excited about using them. I only have 4 coming in on my first order, and I just wanted to know if you'd like to reserve one so we can wrap together. It would be so fun to see results together. Do you want to reserve one? Simple.
Yeah, I love that.
And then, you know, I just say, keep asking people, really. And I say, you can tell your friends, you know what, you can reserve 1 for X dollars, depending on the country, or 2 for, and, you know, maybe give them a $5 discount if they get 2. That's what I've done with a girl, Sarah, who joined a couple of months ago. She sold them in like 2 hours because her mom bought 2 and her sister bought 2. You know, there you go. And she's pregnant now. She's been my loyal customer with the stretch mark. So she wasn't able to use the wraps anyways right now. So it's good that she sold them. But she was able to say, I've been using the stretch mark cream. I'm loving it. I'm so excited to use these wraps when the baby's born. I have a few coming in. Can you try it for me and be my first, you know, testimony? It would really help me out, you know, that kind of thing. So just know their situation a little bit and work with them, like change the wording up to really fit that person, like what they want, where they're at, etc. Then, you can always work on a post as well. But I do the behind the scenes first. And then if they're feeling ready and confident, then I might work on a post with them. And again, the posts should be personal. Like, hey, I've been using these products and I'm really excited to share. I've got 4 coming in. Anyone want to try it? It'll tone, tighten, and firm anywhere from the neck down. Message me if you want to reserve yours, something like that.
I love it. And I like what you like. I like the feel, felt, found. I think some people were like probably asking to have that. Who's that? Who speaks on that, Jackie? Because I know that's from the beginning of our training from when we first got started. Remember who talked about that?
Feel, felt, found. I think I heard it from like Cami or someone like that.
I feel like it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe if somebody else remembers too, because I know that's it. Like Cami would have got it from somewhere else, because that's like it's been out there for a while. But I like the way. Oh, Big Al. That's what I was thinking too, Steph. Big Al talks about that, right? If you guys haven't listened to Big Al yet, he's amazing to listen to, especially when it comes to building rapport with people and stuff like that. But like one of the things that I love about when you share like so much is that you're asking questions, and like I'm always trying to like explain to people, you need to ask questions, and you always give such great examples of the questions that you're asking people. And so I know there's certain people on my team that have kind of said, I tried this and I tried that. Like, write down what Jackie's saying, like write it down and try it and see how it works for you, because I guarantee you that you're going to have better results than, you just have to ask questions. Like questions are the answers. If you're not asking questions, then you're actually talking at people and not to them. And so I think that like, there's so much to that. And I want to emphasize that because, again, there's a reason that you have the numbers that you have, and and the team that you have and everything like that. It's because it's just manners. It's just, you know what I mean? You're just basically saying to someone, well, is there anything else that's stopping you? No, it's that. Okay, well, let's work on that and we can get you to where you want to be. But you can't help people if you don't know what's holding them back. If you don't know what they're afraid of, then what good is it, right?
Yeah, and I look at the people who have joined my team, who I've personally enrolled, who have done it through selling their wraps in their kit, and I think back about the conversations that we had, and the conversations were very personal. Like there was a lot of getting to know them. It wasn't just like, oh, you want to make money? Oh, you can't afford to buy anything? Okay, like let's pre-sell. It was like, really getting to know them and like just having conversations. Like, for example, with Sarah, she was pregnant, or she is pregnant still. We talk about just having a boy or a girl. When's she due? Like, are you working? Da, da, da. Like just really getting to know them. And same thing with Mel. Mel's one of I think she's been on the team for over a year and a half now. And she's like one of the most successful pre-sellers, if you will, because she pre-sold so much that she had to buy an extra box of wraps with the kit. Wow. And she had a loyal customer already. Like one person's I don't want to just buy wraps, I want to do the loyalty program. And so same thing. Like she said, she tried the wraps years before we ever spoke. We connected through Instagram and she knew they worked, so she was able to talk about it with her friends that way. And she'd had people ask her to join their team before, but she said exactly what you said. They just were like, are you ready to join my team? Are you ready to join my team? There was no hey, how are you? What are you doing? What do you do currently? Would this help you? How would it help you? There was no personal relationship, and that's just everything. How can you help somebody? How do you expect to have them want to partner with you if you don't know them? I just don't get it.
It's so true. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jackie. I'm actually I'm going to go back to our call and I'm going to go to that spot and listen to that again. I think it helps so much to refresh your memory, and it's so natural for you because you do it over and over and over and over and over again. And it's so easy for you to do it because of the practice that you've had. Does anybody else have anything for pre-selling wraps that they want to share before we close out the call? Because I know that everybody does things a little bit differently.
I just have a question. Maybe whatever, like, who feels for answering it. It's more about, so if you have some people that are interested in trying it, and then you propose to them to sell a wrap to try, and then they making excuse like they don't want to drink all that water or this and that, what do you guys suggest, or what do you do to close the deal and make them try it if they are already open to it, kind of thing?
Well, would never use the word make them try it. We're not trying to make
Well,
anybody.
yeah, I know. You're correct all the time. I'm sorry.
I know. Words are so powerful. They're so important. And
I know,
like the
you're
littlest little things like that really have a big impact on us. I honestly, I try to just basically suggest things to people. I suggest that you drink this much water. And then people are like, well, can I have wine with it? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell you you can't have wine, but what I'm going to say to you is if you're going to drink wine, you really need to make sure you're drinking that much water if you want the results. I'm always saying, if you want this, you should be doing that. And I'm just there showing them like what's recommended. What people are going to do, they're going to do anyways. Jackie, is there anything that you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, exactly what you said. You bring it back to what they want. Like if you want the results, then maybe you should follow the instructions. But I do tell people that, you know what, for best results, you want to follow the instructions. However, I have seen people not follow the instructions and still get results. So, it's amazing. I've had a girl on my team say, I did my first wrap and oh my God, I have a result. And I didn't think I would because I went to KFC while I had my wrap on, you know? So yeah, I just say have some fun with it too.
Yeah, I never want to tell people what they can and cannot do because otherwise they're not going to do it. It has to be fun, or they just know, like whether it's the business or being a customer, no matter what it is. If it's not fun, then who's going to want to do it? So always keep that in mind. We're not doing anything other than offering. We're just sharing with people, and so we're just there to give them something that they're looking for. And if they're not, that's okay too. But yeah. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna close out the.
So take a quick photo before we close it out.
I like that you asked because then we can smile for it.
Yeah, and people can put their cameras on who aren't on. That would be awesome.
I want to take a picture too.
Okay. Ready? Set, smile. Okay. Oh, good?
Good call, Jax.
Thanks, guys. That was awesome.
Yeah, so awesome. So we're going to do this again next week. Tanis is doing a call tomorrow. I don't know how long it's going to be. We're going to see how she's feeling first before anything else. And she's going to share a little bit about Spain and how the leadership retreat was and everything like that. So if anybody wants that information, I'll be sharing that in the team page. And Jackie, you can share that with your team if you like to. And yeah, so thank you guys all for coming on. A special thank you to everybody who shared, and Jackie Marchant for co-hosting with me. I'm so honored to have you on the team, and I love all the input you have. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.